You're listening to Traumedy, the podcast that helps you take your pain and play with it. I'm Nancy Norton. I'm a comedian and a registered nurse, and I got certified in therapeutic humor. And I go around talking about the power of humor, doing keynote presentations at conferences and wherever they'll have me. But if you have a story to share, please contact me. It's Nancy Norton. It's nancynorton.tv, like television. That's my website. I also produce comedy shows called Nurses Off the Charts. And it's an interactive comedy show. It's not just for nurses, for healthcare workers or anyone who's ever been a patient or anyone who just appreciates nurses and healthcare workers. Half of the show is the audience sharing some outrageous healthcare stories. And just so you know, we limit the number of foreign body stories, but I have heard some of the best and worst, which I think are sometimes the same thing. Foreign body stories. Very impressive. People are creative with what they will put in an orifice. And there are more orifices than I remembered from my anatomy and physiology. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that one. Okay. The next Nurses Off the Charts show is November 21st, Thursday, November 21st, Thursday in Louisville, Colorado at the Louisville Underground. Join us and share a story. Feel free to email me a story or find my speak pipe through my website. If you go to Linktree, Nancy Norton on Linktree, there's a button there where you can tell your story and I can play it over the microphone at an event. All right, remember, we don't violate any HIPAA regulations, but we get close. No identifying names, places, anything specific that would identify a person. It's Traumedy Tuesday. It's a special edition. It is Election Day, November 5th, 2024 in the United States of America, when all the polls are showing this election could go either way, which I've got to tell you, I cannot understand. I really cannot get my head around it. In this episode, I'm going to role play. I'm going to try to understand the other side. I try to embody what's going on. Is this all fear? I don't know. But my guest is a psychiatrist who helps me deal with not being so reactive, not being a troll on social media. And I do. I go in and out. Mostly I've been trying to put out positive things, but I can't help but now and then, I got to say some stuff. So this episode, it may help you today as you're dealing with uncertainty, how to accept losses or accept victories with the same high frequency. And of course, I am envisioning a victory. Enjoy this episode and keep breathing. No matter what today, remember, try to find some humor if you can to help manage the stress of this election day and what will probably be a night, and trust that we're going to get through it. All right, peace and love, everybody. See you on the other side.
That's good.
I'm going to talk into here, but
yeah, I'm going to talk into here too. I feel like we're like two little 10-year-olds at the playground. I'm going to talk into here.
It's like we have the little can with the string between us.
I used to love those.
I was wondering, your nice soft voice. I was wondering.
No, actually, I have a really loud voice, but I was at a conference and part of it was karaoke. And we were singing Paradise by the Dashboard Lights by Meatloaf. And I ruptured my vocal cords.
No, I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
I'm laughing too. Of all the things. No. Meatloaf, of all the things. I'm like, I'm singing. I used to be a soprano. I was singing, and all of a sudden, and then it didn't come back.
No way.
Yeah, I had to have actually laryngeal surgery.
No way.
To fix it. I know. So
you
my
had
voice,
a blowout.
I had a blowout.
Total blowout.
Complete blowout of my entire throat chakra.
Wow.
And it dropped. My voice dropped in pitch. Now I'm more like an alto instead of a soprano, and it became much quieter.
What?
I know. It was the universe
and I'm trying
saying,
to remember.
Slow down. Be quiet. Shut up.
Is that what you think the universe was saying?
Know. Either that or it was speak your voice, but when you do speak with authenticity, don't speak crap.
Baird, how does it go? Do you remember how it goes at all?
You're gonna love me. Love me forever, gonna
you love
leave
me?
me. That's it. Do you love me? Do you love me forever? Do you need me?
Is
You're
that
never gonna leave me.
I wonder if there was so much passion in it that you're
There
like,
was so much passion.
you were so committed.
I was so committed to Meatloaf. Meatloaf just took him out.
And I'm a vegetarian. That's so weird. I loved Meatloaf in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I definitely was into Rocky Horror, the whole scene. It was so cool. I never dressed up, but I did go.
Didn't bring the newspaper and the lighter. There's a light.
I remember that scene.
Over
So sad. So sad.
It's fun though.
It is so much fun.
All right. Hey, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to start our recording. We did already. But it's so fun to start with a laugh behind our little cans. I was thinking part of that was so fun because you could just scream into the can.
Yeah.
And that goes into our frequency and vibration. All right. Listen, that's the pre-roll. Let's get this going.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Traumedy. My guest this week is back by popular demand. An amazing psychiatrist, beautiful spirit energy person, and I am going to call you a friend, even though we don't see each other very often.
Yeah, you don't think you need to see someone frequently to be a friend. You're my friend. I claim you.
Thank you. That feels great. Welcome, Adira Rei. If you want to hear what we covered last time, go back and listen to episode 35 of Traumedy with Adira Rei and hear about insights around psychedelic therapy, nonlinear others, so much I can't go into because every sentence had at least 3 good bumper stickers in it. Succinct sayings that could change the world.
I'm not sure anyone wants to see me on the back of their car, but yeah, thanks for the thought.
I love that we're in a very sort of, the muses are here. The muses have,
I feel them.
They are joining us, and your dog is here.
My little dog Shade joined us.
I think she brought some of the muses.
Yeah, she's a muse herself. So.
She totally is. Adira Rei.
Nancy Norton.
When we left off last time, last episode 35, we were talking about the Grand Awakening.
The Grand Awakening. Yes.
And talking about you starting a new chapter,
Yeah.
leaving one job, starting anew as a psychedelic therapist.
Mm-hmm. Nancy, I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for being, so gracious, welcoming me into your home, my dog into your home, setting up the space. The energy is fantastic here, and I'm just so glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for agreeing. And I know our goal is help heal ourselves and others.
Yeah.
And I was saying at the beginning when I listened back how much I talk, and I was sort of apologetic about that. And you're giving me permission to just be myself and trust that, that's what came, and it's authentic, and it is selfishly my podcast that I need, I think, to help heal myself and others. So thanks for letting me be myself.
I'm not sure that I am letting you be yourself. I simply am suggesting that you do it. I think you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful maybe segue into the whole idea of the way that we co-create and the way that we heal each other, right? You asked what has been going on with me in the past 10 months. Well, last year, 2023, we're in 2024, October now, but 2023, my mother died. And in July of 2024, my father died. It's nothing that's not public. I had to back off of my schedule in order to be able to create spaciousness and slow down to sit with the grieving in the morning. And I'm so glad I did that. It's been a powerful experience to be able to slow down, which is just contra everything in capitalism and this world right now. Everything's go faster, accomplish more, get something else done, do another project, get another certificate. And for me, I was like, none of that at this point really matters, because if I don't sit with this grief, it's going to accumulate within me and take me down. And I didn't want to do that.
it's something you can't know until you go through, how much your parents meant to you. And there's a lot there. I know I experienced a sense of chaos when my mom died. She was quite a matriarch. And our family is still disorganized. We are not sure who we are if not in relation to our mom. At least I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I've heard this from a couple of folks in my family and me. Well, I identify as a recovering codependent. Mm-hmm. So when I say I almost do need permission to be myself, like, can you tell me it's okay to be myself? And so thank you for even just saying it out loud. Help me. And then how is it for you? How has it been for you? Do you want to say any more about the grief and the loss?
Having lost a parent, I had no idea. Having not had lost a parent before my mom passed, I had no idea what it was going to be like. It was discombobulating. It was like the rug gets pulled out from underneath you and you're not quite sure what to do. You feel a little bit lost. And these waves of emotion that come through, whether it's like intense laughter or intense crying, and it just washes through you and you can't stop it. I suppose you could by ignoring it and shoving it down, but that's exactly what I didn't want to do.
Allowed it.
I wanted to allow it. I wanted those vibrational frequencies that were moving through me with this kind of, I'm going to call it dehiscence, like something being disconnected from you, because we are deeply connected to our mothers, even if we don't have a cognitive connection with them or physical connection with them. Them being gone makes a shift in our energy.
Wow. Yeah. To lose that tether.
Yeah, we could think about it as a tether or a cord. I think that wouldn't be very far from the truth at all. And the question is, what do we do? How do we release it? Do we release it as just a wound that's a gaping wound that just kind of brings us down all the time? Or do we sort of nurture that detethering? That's not even a word, but I'm going to use it.
I like it.
We just made it up. Right?
You know what? Detethering.
Detethering.
Say it enough and it is a word. We create our reality.
It just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, just how do you heal that wound in you when you lose someone who brought you into the world? And to think about it generationally, though. Mother to child to mother becomes a mother, has another child, right?
Yeah.
And the intergenerational trauma and also the healing, the ancient wisdom that resides within that path.
Beautiful. That ancient wisdom. And I love that. I had a sense of chaos when my mom died, but I'm going to be honest. And my therapist did say I'm one of only two people she's known who felt such a sense of relief. Mm. I felt a sense of relief. I needed to get out from under that woman's thumb. Anyway, for me, there was also a big relief, but I don't know. It's complex, right?
I think it is complex, but you're speaking to a truth that maybe a lot of people do have in their heart and mind, and they don't speak to it because it's not societally accepted. It's not socially appropriate. Did you just hear me? I just said that you were socially inappropriate.
I did hear it. I'm taking it in. And you know what? Proudly. I'll take it. Sometimes I do take things in like, in a way that's like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome, right? Society.
Exactly.
I said it. That's it is the comedian's job to speak the unspoken, the inconvenient truth.
The inconvenient truth that nobody else wants to say, but they feel it. Like, wow, that just feels a little bit lighter now that they are gone. Whether it's ending a relationship, having someone pass, it's a tough thing to say, but look at you. You're so bold out here in your authentic space.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. And I'm the elder now. I'm the elder, and this is my life, and I don't want to take, I think my obligation, and I don't know how you feel, but I do feel the reason I'm called, and you were saying how suffering called us to psychedelic therapy, and, to get to the point of that much suffering to say, I need to format this whole system to stop the generational trauma, or at least minimize it going down the pike, I definitely still can offload self-hate and shame into my son every now and then, but I'm aware of it. I'm like,
I love your awareness.
oh yeah, I'm like, blah, and I vomit a little gross energy on him, and I'm like, I try to pull it back, and he has like Teflon to shame. It's just I don't know if he's because he's adopted but I'm also very vocal, like that didn't belong to you, and sorry, and I try to
reel it back in.
It's not. I don't know. My therapist will say it's actually almost better to make a mistake and then make a repair, because there's an intimacy in that is richer than if you had never made the mistake. I mean, maybe that's her way of making me feel good about making mistakes.
I think it's spot on. Everything you're saying is spot on. I mean, the whole idea of being an elder, right? I mean, I've had people reflect on losing both their parents as an orphan. One of my neighbors, a relative, and it just didn't resonate with me. For me, I felt that the loss of my parents made me an elder. And I've really been embracing the inner grandmother in me and the leader of the generations and the way in which I want to show up in the world that is going to affect 7 generations ahead. Like what I do now, how I act, what I say, this conversation right now has an impact 7 generations ahead.
Wow, it does. We're putting out ripples.
It's like throwing a pebble in, putting out ripples. And what does the vibrational significance of that?
Yes. What is the vibrational significance of it? And I love it. Feels drawn from perhaps, when we hear about indigenous wisdom,
yes,
think of the 7th generation.
Yes.
And are you drawing, did this come to you through your ancestral wisdom or?
My life's path right now is to be able to support 7 generations ahead. And in my actions. And part of that I've realized is by not only healing myself, but by being part of this grand awakening, as you acknowledged, of healing others too. By healing myself and maintaining high vibrational space, not being reactive, that kind of a thing, what it does is it actually heals ahead too. And I should qualify this by saying that I don't really believe in the 3-dimensional concept of a linear timeline of past, present, future. Because with psychedelics, as you may recall, things converge. Space and time converges into one, and then you can just deal with literally everything. That's happened for thousands of years right in this moment.
Yeah.
That's the power of it. With these transitions that we have in life, with things that as they actually converge and then they emerge, as they contract and then they expand into a place of spaciousness. What if we were to allow with those changes, instead of them taking us down and making us flattened by the experience, if we actually allowed it to be part of the awakening, part of this grand awakening? Simply that, the
just
process of that.
Like waves flowing.
Yes.
I'm going to reflect back what I heard.
Do it.
And see if double dare.
Double dare.
Oh no. Oh, this is such a good representation of the mirroring, a house of mirrors of infinity, double dares. So what I heard and what I felt that so much of our energy, and my energy, I should speak in I statements, is spent kind of trying to resist. And rather than allow these waves to come through, like trying to stop the ocean from breaking on the shore, like just let it wash, let it go. Is that what you were saying?
Yes. It's so hard. I'm not saying I do it well.
But
I'm saying that is the process. That is the emergence of ourselves, is when we have these waves that come as tsunamis that knock us over. Instead of resisting it, to just allow it to unfold. And I don't mean to minimize the horrific things that are going on in the world right now, Nancy, and to say, oh, well, if this horrible thing happens to you, then you should just take it. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there is an energy that flows with it. That's part of the eventual creation, again, of something new. And if we allow it to move through us instead of flattening us, it can actually be less damaging and less overwhelming. Does that track for you?
It does. And yet, if it does flatten us, we're flat.
Okay. And then you are where you are.
And then you are where you are. Then be flat And that is not a note on the piano. I'm just saying. I am such a silly mood today.
You are. I love it.
But, well, I was picturing right outside this window here where we are in Boulder, we had the 500-year flood, right? It came through here. It was a rushing river out there. And it was disorienting. And we're talking, I think what you're saying is like currently there are people surviving hurricanes and disasters and
wars.
Mudslides and wars. And that it's easier to sit here, of course, in Boulder, petting our friend the dog. But let's not minimize the loss of a parent, because that is a wow. There's so much there.
And I wanna expand on that idea that what about it? What if you do lose a parent? Are you losing everything that they ever gave you? Are you losing the ancient wisdom that resides in them that now runs through you? I actually think it awakens a little bit more. I think that's what gives us our spontaneity, our creativity, our expansivity, our sense that we're an elder. It's because it's the spark that resides within them is given to us.
Yes, and it's up to us to curate. I've been curating the parts that I'm taking, and it's sort of like when people read religious literature or an EKG. It's open to interpretation.
Everything's open to interpretation.
How's Grandma's chair treating you? Do you need to?
Grandma's chair is fantastic.
Okay.
I feel her energy. I like that this is your grandma's chair.
That was her telephone chair where she sat back in the day.
Stop. That is so cute.
When you were tethered to a phone.
Yes, I do remember.
So she had her telephone chair by the side of the kitchen that you're in.
I love it.
And she was silly. She could be so funny. And she had the most traumatic, lost her daughter and husband in a fire in front of her and But listen, she could still laugh. Yeah. And she is amazing.
What if it is, as I heard someone say, describe it as a lubricant?
Yeah, laughter.
Yes,
I don't know.
As a lubricant.
Well, listen,
as a
postmenopausal woman,
we want a lot of laughter.
I need a lot of laughter down south. What do you think about that?
She agrees.
She agrees.
She's not postmenopausal. She agrees.
I'm talking to the dog about my postmenopausal. Listen, I am so far postmenopausal, and I know this is on topic. I'm going to tell you because it's all about, I'm seeing myself decompose while alive. My face. My joke is, are we all on psychedelics, or is my face sliding off my skull?
You got trip face at baseline? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That is a trick question because both can be true. But yeah, I was trying to do a joke about the jaws of life versus the jowls of death. But it's, as I'm postmenopausal, and it's like, okay, I never was able to carry a baby, but it's like clearly, like I am an elder.
Do you need to carry a baby to be an elder?
No.
Agreed. I just want to make sure we were clear on that one. You do not.
No.
This is not about biological progeny.
Just talking about death and dying, and even though I feel like I'm accepting of it, there's obviously a part of me afraid to die. Mm-hmm. This incarnation, this identity, and so I do a lot of jokes these days about
death and dying.
Yeah, just how to kind of laugh at it. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
You may.
Ooh. Thank you for the permission. What's scary about death for you?
Oh, wow. I love that. Because I think we make an assumption, don't we? I don't know that anyone's ever asked me what is scary about it. I think I am afraid of being afraid more than anything. And I think as I said in the last episode, where I had this experience during psychedelic trauma therapy, I had this feeling of being intermittently suffocated with pillows, and it was scary.
Yeah.
It was scary not to be able to get my breath. Mm-hmm. And so I was terrified of not existing. Mm. And it felt like I was reduced into this small little black dot. Mm. And then I don't know that I was gone enough to come out the other side. I hear on near-death experiences where you go into this black void, but then you come out.
You just stuck as a black dot. Is that what you're saying?
I just got to the black dot part, and then my mom would let me breathe again.
Oh, gotcha.
I think she had postpartum psychosis, and that was generational trauma. The wisdom that what I got was back in the Duncan line, they had to suffocate a baby to survive a predator or a attack, and then to make a baby quiet while it was crying, and to save everybody.
Yeah, I can just.
And yet the baby lived.
So much to talk about this.
That baby lived, and then it proliferated, and I'm a descendant of that baby.
Oh my! Have you heard of adverse childhood experiences scale? The ACE scale.
The ACE.
They say that having high ACE scores, which is basically, and I'm not a child and adolescent psychiatrist, I'm an adult psychiatrist, but the data shows that having high ACE scores increases the risk of psychosis. Right? So we talk about intergenerational trauma, the way things are handed down for over thousands of years through our lineage, and the way it impacts our genetics. I think we touched on epigenetics last time. Right?
Yeah,
the ability to turn genes on, turn genes off through lifestyle changes. And I really think that that's a big part of the way in which we can incorporate psychedelics and this healing process. That what if we were to raise our vibration? And we're talking about the energy body, right? In the sense of the way that we relate to other people, how would it affect other people? Meaning our children, biological or not our children, and generations ahead, and our community for that matter, the people who we love. And in my situation, my patients who are more than patients, they're fellow human beings.
And when you get to the oneness, now that you're doing psychedelic assisted therapy, is that how you phrase it?
Yeah.
That you're experiencing that oneness with people. And so...
And what an honor.
Yeah, what an honor. It's a sacred space, isn't it?
It is. It feels beyond sacred to me to even have that permission to work with people in that capacity.
Wow.
That they would offer me that kind of vulnerability so that I can offer them safety. That is in of itself such a powerful healing connection with another human being. I feel equally healed, is what I'm saying.
It's co-healing.
It is co-healing.
And that is a phrase that's been coming up with me a lot lately too.
Tell me about that.
Well, I think I've gotten it a little bit from some of the near-death experience people that I watch on YouTube, but also this idea that I can't heal you, but I can help bring the vibration. And if you resonate, if you raise your frequency and I raise and we raise our frequencies by almost like singing a song back and forth,
beautiful, that
we heal each other. And it's a co-healing experience rather than I'm healing you or you're healing me, but
I'm nodding vigorously for those who can't see me because this is a podcast. I'm nodding vigorously without knocking into the mic right now. Yes, we do. We heal each other in that way, right? And that brings me back to like mirror neurons, the whole idea that with healthy parenting, whoever is our parent figure would show up in an attuned way, a compassionate, attuned way to be able to show us what it is that we're experiencing. A baby's sad, then you look at them and you frown, oh, you look sad, and try to console them in a way that soothes their soul, right?
Yes.
And when we don't receive that for a multitude of different reasons, because of psychiatric illness, because of substance use, because of personality features,
fatigue.
Fatigue.
My mother was exhausted. Yeah, I know that. I was the fourth one.
And the burden of being under-resourced financially, right? And always feeling like you're going paycheck to paycheck. That shows up in the way that we feel about ourselves, what we internalize, right? As maybe lower self-esteem. We've talked about guilt, shame, even. Shame being the arm of guilt where we actually feel like we're a bad person. Guilt just being, you know what, I wish I would have done that differently. And, that's okay. I think that's healthy to be able to just turn around and say, maybe next time I'll do that differently.
Yeah, rather than I'm a bad person.
Instead of I'm a bad person, right?
Yeah.
So being able to, at this stage in our lives as adults, hold that responsibility of resetting those that attunement, that sense of the mirror neurons being off. We can do that by raising our vibration in our community and the way that we be with each other, the way you and I are being right now, Nancy, right?
Yeah.
We're really connecting over this.
Yeah.
This whole concept of being in a podcast, right?
Right.
I know we're in the matrix. I know that is like we are deeply in the matrix by doing this, but it still is resonant at a higher level, at a spiritual level, that your and my souls wanted to meet to do this. We felt the need.
Yeah. And I want to go back to the mirror neurons and attunement, which, when you adopt a child like I did, you have to go to parenting classes. And then it's funny, I'm wearing this Nepal, India Heritage Camp. Well, it's meant to be because it was the last T-shirt on the shelf.
It worked.
Yeah. And when I went there was a woman, and I think her book is called Mind Sight, and it's about attunement. And I learned so much from thank you to my son, who brought me so many gifts and, intellectually, but also just being with him. And he had such wonderful attunement with Pabharti in Nepal, his Om, I call her Om, original mommy. And she was so attuned with him. And she taught me how to be a mom that I didn't learn from my mom. And I could learn how to do that and, reflect him rather than the other way around. Like I have that joke about being a codependent and wearing a pendant that is a codependent, where it's like, I honor myself. And then on the back, it says, if you don't mind. And my mother always minded if I honored myself. But anyway, that's just generational trauma. No blame, no shame. She did her best. One of the mantras that she sends me is, you did your best, forget the rest. Because I assisted her through her dying process, and I felt like I failed her. I didn't prevent her from suffering in the end. I did some. I did the best I could.
I don't think I prevented my parents from suffering in their end of life either, if that's any source of consolation.
Tell me more about your process.
I think that it was really difficult for them that I had suggested that this may be the end of life, and it's reasonable to go ahead and accept the services and the support of hospice care. And that was very offensive to them. Oh. And there's only so much that we can do in order to be able to, move people, reposition them, have them consider things differently. There's a profound limit to that. And I found that this was a limit for me with my parents, that they were unwilling to accept that they were at the end of life. And there's nothing more that I could do. And there was deep mourning around that, about the idea that there are so many things I would have loved to have been able to support them with, but we cannot give where someone is unwilling to receive. And that was a real big teaching for me, as far as it not reflecting me and my attempts to be able to do that, and also feeling the sorrow, not as much the shame. I didn't feel as much ashamed as I felt very guilty and withdrawn from the experience. It felt like it was too much to be able to endure watching people suffer, when I felt like there could have been things we could have done differently that would have helped heal them.
So reflecting on this, is there anything you would have done differently? Or is there any advice you would give to anyone who has an aging parent who, there's a little discord between philosophies of end-of-life care or whatever? Just trying to help somebody through that process.
I think a lot of it is just meeting people where they are and preparing them, readying them for this. And I attempted to with conversations, but this isn't about intellect. It isn't about the cognition. This is about a spiritual transition. And I had some very sweet conversations with my dad. Before he passed, he asked about my mom, and I said, Mom is going to be waiting for you, right? I just had that intuitive sense, that felt sense in my body that she's waiting for you on the other side, right? They'd been together for over 60 years, and that's what they knew. They knew each other. But that was about as much as I could do at that time, in that circumstance. I would have loved to have had many more conversations before that, but someone needs to be ready. If they're pre-contemplative, they're thinking about doing something, right? They're pre-contemplative, right?
Oh, are we getting into pre-contemplative?
Or even pre, whatever it is.
Double dare.
And double dare, girl.
Okay, sorry. I'm distracted.
Not
okay,
at
so
all. This is like heavy stuff.
They're getting ready to think about something.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, you can do motivational interviewing. That's what they call it. But I don't think it's...
I love when you drop in those psychiatric terms. Motivational interviewing. I got to write this down. Well, I'm going to listen to the podcast. I don't have to write anything down.
You do motivational interviewing. I don't think you need to read a dang thing about it. You got it right here going on.
Okay, thank you. I'll trust my intuition.
Do it.
I just don't know it. I don't know the nomenclature, or I don't know it intellectually.
Yeah.
But, okay, so it's called motivational. Tell me more about this. Motivational interviewing.
Well, it's just a technique, and I'm not sure that I follow it to a T. I'm not sure that I follow any therapeutic technique to a T.
Okay.
It's like a conglomeration.
Is this a disclaimer?
This is the huge discllaimer that you have to sign.
Do not quote me on this.
10 pages long. Sign it twice. I think it's more about being able to look at the different aspects of a particular idea and see and understand in a state of awareness where you are about readiness for change, right? Instead of just thrusting a particular plan in someone's face and saying, this is what we're going to do. Yeah. Like for my parents, you're dying and we're going to, it doesn't work like that. We have to be able to walk beside people. We have to hold space. We have to witness. We have to be able to experience what they're experiencing in a space of compassion and empathy. And I think I may have leaned into that a little bit more. For me, it was frustration. Right?
Okay.
And I think that's where the guilt comes in. Well, how come we're not doing this differently? Right? Yeah.
In a sense, like your parents, it felt like your parents were saying, you should be trying to save me.
Yes, they were. And especially as the only physician in the family, that was a huge burden. Because I'm like, this is not savable. We come into this world with a contract. And the contract is that when we are born, that we will die. Everyone will. Death and taxes. Right?
Yeah. During my meditation yesterday, it just came to me like how much time I spend in that fear of death. And the message came, you were not born to fear death. Like that's not your purpose. That was not your soul agreement. I'm going to be born so I can be afraid of dying. Also, I have another theory I'd like to bounce off of you, that this incarnation is just a break from eternity.
Oh, what a great idea.
Dude, eternity's a lot, like sometimes you just need to put some bookends on it. Let's have the Matrix, let's drop into the Matrix and have this illusion of like a container so that we can just have a little break from all eternity.
Either that.
Okay.
Either that or being in a body is so rare for a soul to actually come to earth and be in a body. And it's such an incredible honor because in a body, we have the ability to be able to shift and change things at a spiritual level in ways that we can't when we're not in a body.
Oh, what?
And so, I mean, you can talk about it like it's a break. It can be a break, but what do you do with that break, right? The break from being disembodied, right? Just being a soul, just being a spirit. And the opportunity that lies in that, that's what excites me. That's what makes me think about 7 generations ahead. I don't need to be here 7 generations ahead. I hope they're listening to this podcast 7 generations and they, look at our great, whatever, infinite grandma. She doesn't need to be here because it is the intention that I've set.
Yeah. Okay. So you are, it sounds like asking, can this be my last incarnation? Or do you not want to come back to?
I don't have a preference.
Oh, it sounded like you had a preference.
No.
Okay.
I just don't feel like I need to be in this life in order to affect change.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah. And so I reincarnate, don't reincarnate, reincarnate here or someplace else. I don't know. I leave that to something beyond me.
Okay.
And my higher self.
And your higher self. I hear you. And I just had this image of pushing something to push against to grow. Like, we were talking about how suffering leads to, and I was asking last time, may I learn from delight? And you sort of like, hey, good luck with that. But I still think I am learning from delight. And so I know that we've really let the muses flow here, But I want to make sure I've checked in with you about how is it now, having created a kind of new life?
What a great question. Thank you. It's profound and it's beautiful and it's very sweet and it's very simple and things are unfolding very quickly in beautiful ways. And I'm just filled with gratitude and joy for it. I think it's because I slowed down and I gave myself space to be able to heal some of the intergenerational trauma instead of just barreling right through it. Like, oh, yeah, I miss so-and-so. I miss my mom. I miss my dad. No, it's not about missing them. It's about honoring them, about loving them for everything they did do for me, and the ways in which I want to kind of take that baton and I want to run with it. I'm going to pass it on. I'm going to pass it forward.
Yeah. Oh, you're inspired.
I am very inspired by what it is that they have done for me and the ancient wisdom that runs through them that's coming through me now. I feel it. I feel it as it just courses through my veins with this wisdom of, oh, yes, this, oh, yes, that. It's like when you reached out to me, like, you want to do a podcast. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're just going to show up and we're just going to connect over the truth of what our existence is. And then, of course, this idea of death and dying and grief and mourning starts to pop up. It's so real. There is so much grief. And I think when we hold it in our body and we don't release it, it just makes us sick.
Yeah, that absolutely. And you were talking earlier about things, letting them move.
Yes.
And expressing. I've had this phrase, if you don't express, it makes an impression, that can, which we talked about a little bit last time too. I was thinking about, resisting anything. It's such a tricky dance of this life force versus surrender. The nuance of that dance is really interesting. Like, how much do I push for things, or do I allow and just trust what wants to happen? It's a very tricky dance.
Yes, it's because it's a question of how much are we going to choreograph and how much are we going to let it be ecstatic dance, where we just release, where any kind of movement is okay. It doesn't matter. I think the key is to be able to know that you can dance, you can move, you can release. You do not need to stay in this place of constriction. Constriction is going to happen. You are going to get flattened. And actually, you'll be okay, right? And that's not the optimist in me coming out as much as the realist. Yeah, I mean, I talk with people all day who have been flattened. I have been flattened in my lifetime. Yeah. And it is the resilience, the bouncing back, the vulnerability of being able to say, you know what, I just freaking got flattened by that. That was horrific. And I'm okay. And I'm better for it. And what a weird and kind of twisted way to go about life. Instead of like cordoning off, like you said, like pushing up against a wall and just keeping this space very small. That is constriction. I'm talking about expansivity. I use the example of like a line or an arrow, right? Think about an arrow. It doesn't have any movement to it necessarily or direction, but change it into a vector where it actually has an acceleration to it and a direction. That's the difference.
So the arrow points.
Right.
And then what's vector? What does a vector mean?
Vector is just the physics concept of something that has acceleration and direction to it.
Okay, thanks. I didn't know exactly what a vector was.
Not at all. Yeah, and thank you for asking. I think that kind of a concept helps us reshape the way that we experience wounding. We can, like I said, receive something that is horrific, and we can let it move through us and just shift and change. But we have to do it in a state of awareness. We cannot expect that it's just going to happen on its own, right? There has to be some infusion of an intention in order to be able to have that vector move.
Yeah, I do get that. And I understand what you're saying, I think, because self-awareness and being like looking and being curious and
there's an assumption in here that I just want to make sure that we speak to is that we can't be flattened, right? That it's not okay to be flattened, not okay to be sad. It's not okay to be directionless or not have a particular infusion of energy into that. Like you can't. That's part of the process, the collapsing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, you're saying it is. Trust it. Trust, the process.
Trust the process.
And if you're constricted right now, and that's where you are,
then that's where you are.
And have dialogue with the constriction.
Have dialogue with it, have awareness of the constriction, allow for things to unfold as they are in a state of awareness, and also having a sense of like compassion and loving kindness to oneself, that this is going to resolve. Everything's going to be okay, right? And it may not unfold in the way that you want it, but it's going to unfold.
Yeah. One of the things we were talking about before we started recording was right now, we're heading into an election. And it's so interesting to look at these pie charts of the polls, just so blue and red with this very teeny sliver of white of the unaffiliated, unsure. I mean, it's just so, I am so freaked out by the whole thing. Like, it's like, I can't imagine not being clear at this point. Also, can't imagine. Personally, I'm going to say I'm a blue. Actually, I'm a green. Truth be told, I was in the Green Party for a long time, which is the earth. And you talk about attunement. When I've been on my psilocybin journeys, I have attuned with Mother Earth herself, and she taught me her song, and she wanted it sung back. We sung it back and forth to each other, and it was really, really healing.
Beautiful.
She wants to be a co-healer to Mother Earth. But what about this divisiveness, or what about this work that you're doing? Is there anything you see that how your vibrational understanding, and could you add some insights to any of the pie chart these days? Anything come up for you around that? We didn't say, we just kind of alluded to we might talk about that.
I think I can simplify it by saying trolling doesn't solve anything. We think that by expressing our grievances in ways that are aggressive, that it's going to shift someone's thinking, that it's a catharsis for ourselves. It doesn't. It actually wounds us. Because
it's a projection.
Yes.
And
it's not done with a sense of awareness, right?
Yeah.
It's more about, I'm just going to react to a particular situation.
Yeah.
And what we need is less reaction and more response.
Okay. Let's talk about the response. Because as a recovering adult child of a dysfunctional family, we are known as reactors rather than actors. Okay. And I'm working on it. Believe me, I work on taking a breath, resetting my parasympathetic nervous system, and ask higher power, how can I? And I have. Sometimes I put out really lovely notes, and I want to bring this country back together. I do. I have this fantasy. I mean, I talk about that. I'm from the Ozarks. Now I live in Boulder. All the men in my family are Republican. The women were all Democrats. And it's like, I was like, but I always say, like, I march for peace, but if the shit goes down, I'll be hiding behind my brother's gun safe eating a squirrel. And that's my dad.
But that's such a great example of polarization.
Right? But okay, so here's what not to do, trolling. But tell me more about response, or how is there a way we can get reunited? Do you see any vision of that, or are we going to become, like some people are talking about, a new earth where some people will be on one frequency and some folks will be on another? I don't know. Yeah,
Eckhart Tolle again. I think we're already there. I think we're already there where people are on different frequencies. And, one thing is to be able to know something. And I'm not talking about what side, right? I'm just saying to know something and feel like it's the absolute truth. And therefore the other person is wrong, or the other side is wrong. When in fact, their truth is their own truth. It is what they see, know, honor. And for anyone to say, well, that's crap, that's off, that's wrong, what it does is it deepens the polarization. It's a kind of trolling, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? A reactivity. How about we just sit with what we know and that be our truth? Does it need to be extended and imposed upon other people? The moment we start forcing our views on other people, it starts to become difficult. And this goes for the left and the right.
No, I know. I'm hearing you. I'm taking this in because I'm very opinionated, and I try to, I try. I'll go, am I in a cult? Am I in a cult? Am I brainwashed? I'm sure I am on some level. How can you avoid it? And I have mentioned that I have a couple of friends in my Facebook feed who are in the other camp. And I will say that, like, can you say one thing? Is there anything? Do you see any character flaw? Because I can see character flaws in my candidate. Can you?
Right.
I do ask those kind of questions. Anyway,
I think
the misinformation thing is really complicated. I don't know what's true on the platform.
And it's just going to get worse with AI generated information. So we can kind of accept that this is the beginning of the future of misinformation. It'll continue. And my question is it possible for us as individuals and as organizations to not react? This goes back to the whole idea of slowing down and the way in which I processed the mourning and the grieving, just sitting with it. Can we just sit with it? Can we sit with our own reaction without having to externalize it, put it on someone? Well, you point the finger, or that's wrong because. Can we just sit with it? That requires a certain amount of internal resourcing is what I'm going to call it.
It really does. And I think I have to. I know. I felt a burn in my belly.
I heard it. I felt it too.
I'm like, and that's where I have to use humor.
Yeah,
I'm like,
which is beautiful.
Yeah,
the lubrication. We went back to the lubrication.
Seeded the clouds and caused the Yes, we caused those hurricanes. No, climate change isn't man-made. Yet we did cause those hurricanes. I mean, just make up I have to laugh, or I will feel like it feels so toxic to my body not to express it.
Yeah.
But let me ask you.
Before you ask me, I'm going to ask you: does Mother Earth really need that to be expressed?
Apparently. Look what she's doing. She's like she's going through menopause. Like, she's heating up. She's like, she's making more and more hurricanes. She's, I don't know. She's expressing. Are you saying does she need me to express for her?
Does she need you to express for her?
Well, what if it's just about me? Yeah. I mean, am I expressing for her? I do. Yes, maybe she does. I am a voice for the voiceless is part of what I've been told is my life purpose. When I was not allowed to breathe and cry as an infant, I'm like, I've got to be a voice for the voiceless. And not that your dog is voiceless, because you can hear your dog, but not everybody can. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
I mean, not everybody can pick up on the cues from Mother Earth.
Then the question is...
Oh, that's not real.
Right. How is it delivered? Right.
Okay.
And I think that the way in which we deliver it, any messages that we have, has to be, eye to eye, person to person, with the intention of connecting, not disconnecting.
Okay. So do you want to do some role playing?
Do it.
Okay. I mean, since I was raised by a Republican and I voted for Ronald Reagan in 1980, which I have to own.
That sounds like that was a confession.
It was. I was under the spell. And, like I said, the men in my family, so I was a tomboy. So I wanted to be I was like, I want to be, let's see, given a choice, do I want to be part of the patriarchy or do I want to be a second-class citizen? Well, I chose third class because, tomboy, non-binary.
Right.
But anyway, okay, I identified as a Republican. All right, so I can drop in and I can pretend. Let me see if I can pretend to be a Trumper. Okay?
Right, do it.
Okay, just give me a second.
Nancy's adjusting. She's cracking up. She's falling apart.
This is very healing for me.
Good.
Okay, no, this I think is important. Like, we should do more of this.
Let's do it.
I think I should be doing this in my comedy routine. Like, let's do some role playing.
I love that.
All right. They stole the election.
Nancy cannot even get through the sentence.
No. Listen, the vaccines are fake. The hurricane was you and your libtard friends.
Keep going. You're on a roll. Don't stop.
Let me embody it. No, seriously, I'm trying to feel like, what is it they're feeling? I think it's a lot of fear, right? It's like, the immigrants are eating the cats and they're eating the dogs and they stole our election and they're making our kids into these trans people and we're gonna. Oh, I'm wilting.
Do you feel it though?
Yeah, though. That was actually good.
Do you feel it? What did you feel?
You know what? They're afraid of dying. They're afraid of not existing. They're afraid of becoming extinct.
Yes. They're way.
They want to persist.
Yes. Isn't that the case for everyone, Nancy? You were just talking about it earlier.
I know. Okay. So if I'm in my compassionate higher self,
yeah,
and I'm like, okay, but then that feels like I'm patronizing them. They're there, little Trumper. Don't you fret.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this thing in my act lately where I show up in my psychedelics and I go, yes. This is what happens when a Republican takes mushrooms. So can we just...
It is the awakening.
Look at the light just came out. Can we... is there any way to sneak mushrooms into the water?
No.
Okay. Plan B. What's your plan B?
My plan B is to have conversations like this.
Okay.
To resonate around the fact that everybody's scared in whatever position they are coming from, right? It is rooted in fear.
Yeah.
Right? And fear is the ultimate, Shade just made a big sigh.
Affirmation.
A big affirmation. With that fear, we do things that we wouldn't normally do, right? It derails us. And is it possible that we can step away from that fear? And I'm going to also call it doubt.
Okay.
If we truly have faith in ourselves and in humanity and in Mother Earth and nature, can we allow things to unfold with these collapses? I'm talking about these constrictions and then the expansivity.
Yeah.
But by yelling about it, fighting about it, like I said, trolling about it, what we do is we actually add to the energy of constriction in the world. Mother Earth doesn't need to be choked anymore. Mother Earth is craving love, generosity, kindness, sweetness, compassionate understanding, and release. Too much, too soon?
No, I'm with it. Three things. One, another thing that came to me during when I meditate, I do get very high on higher power. Mm-hmm. And I had a vision that Donald Trump was a pig in a birthing crate. And I saw his eyes. I was like, oh, those are the pig eyes. And I love pigs. I don't want to insult pigs. And I mean that in all sincerity.
Okay.
Because I don't like when people compare obnoxious people to pigs or ugly people to pigs. They're authentic beings. They just are mute and they're highly intelligent. But I was like, what if in a parallel universe, he is a, if you know about gestation crates but the point is, his soul journey in one lifetime is this powerless mother pig who can't move in a birthing crate. That is the torture that we're putting pigs through right now. Right this second, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of pigs out there suffering, trying to give birth without being able to turn around or get comfortable or move. And it's outrageous that nobody gives a shit about that. Not nobody, but most people don't give a shit about them and just want the bacon. I get it. I never argue with the flavor. But that he is in one world completely powerless and in this world trying to hoard all the power, put himself into a position of power, into, perpetuity. Yet on another level, he knows he is futile, but still compelled to do it. Why am I sharing it? I don't know. It just came to me. So I'm sharing.
What does it mean to you? This vision that you had.
It's back to that fear of powerlessness. I don't know. It just means that it all balances out somehow. I don't really know what it means. That's why I'm bringing it up at the meeting. I'm not sure what it means to me.
This is a good meeting. What is the fear of powerlessness? Is it possible by feeding the fear that it actually increases the powerlessness? Let's go back to the idea of a vector, right? And setting an intention. We set the trajectory of it. And if we point ourselves towards fear and doubt, that's what we're going to receive. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to be open, kind and compassionate enough to ourselves, and open that we do deserve to receive goodness.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That we know that we do, and that we allow it in.
Yes.
And okay, I just remembered what came after that. I can read it to you in my little journal. And I just remembered it, which was the message was that we absolutely have to send Trump love because he is terrified.
I think we need to send the universe love.
You don't think we need to send one person?
Like extra to one person? No.
Okay.
I think that we are all...
Turn it over to higher power?
Yeah, we are all a representation of the wounding that humanity has.
Okay,
right?
so...
Some are more front and center, right? But we're all wounded.
Oh, okay. So by sending it out and let the universe take care of it.
Yes. Like, have you ever heard of metta prayers? Buddhist metta prayers?
No, tell me.
Well, it's that, you send love to those who you love most, and then you sort of move along to those who you dislike, or that you have a aversive kind of reaction when you think about them.
Oh.
And you send them love and healing. Yeah, it's about us healing each other. And I know that sounds like super like flower girly, but it's not going to come from the rage.
Yeah. Although let's honor the rage too. You know what I mean? There is a sacred rage. There is a time to be furious and show that. I think there is a time for that. I think there is a time for rage. I
think there is a time for anger. The question is, what do we do with that? Can we be angry and heal at the same time instead of projecting it outwards? Mm-hmm. Our society is so frustrated with everything that we just release it into this void of the universe in ways that is just like this incredibly disconcerting scream.
Wow. Say that again. I got a little into the thing about rage for a second and lost it.
Well, that's a really good example of it, though, right there, right? That how much rage derails us, that we're not able to be present. We're not able to be present with what's going on. And I know we've been talking for a while too, so it's a little bit hard to focus at this point.
Well, not gonna lie. I know it's getting time. I know we're going to go towards closure.
We can go towards closure, but I think that's a great example about how what it is that we want to manifest in this world is shut down by the rage and the frustration and the irritation and the annoyance and the bitterness that comes out, the judgment, the need to control. What if we let that go?
Okay.
That was a pre-contemplative statement.
Well, I'm just being with it because what came to me, what I got distracted with was, adolescent. It feels kind of adolescent for me because I have my inner teenager. Her name is Virginia Vengeance. Mm. And when I'm in my higher self, I take those knives out of my back and I swirl them into all the love, all that is. That's what another name I have for God, for higher power, is this all that is love. Mm-hmm. And I swirl and I swirl and I swirl this sword out of my back and I turn it into this chalice of love and I drink from it. But in my adolescent reactivity, I want to pull it out and I want to fight you with the knife that you just stabbed me in the back with. However, I'll be honest, never want to fight.
So you're talking about developmental stages, metaphorically, right?
Yeah, and I feel
what if we just were to translate that into vibrational states?
Oh, cool.
Right? And the whole idea that the adolescent mindset of rage, hormonally driven, right, and lacking in logic sometimes, not always, that may be an example or metaphor for a lower vibrational state. And the goal being to rise and ascend into spaces where we're more contemplative and aware and compassionate and forgiving and are able to be in a space of no reaction, no response.
Woo!
Silence, right?
Wow.
Slowing down and letting it go. Just letting it go.
Just witnessing it.
Witnessing it and not letting our ego take over and say that this is, you are condemning me. no. We are allowing ourselves to be condemned.
Wow.
I say that with a chuckle. I say that with a chuckle because I understand it personally.
I know.
It's not as if this is about perfection.
It's almost like we're trying to transcend the human condition a little bit, right? Which is about integrating and so trying to raise the frequency by not being attached to an outcome, by not reacting to somebody hurting someone you care a great deal about, or hurting Mother Earth, or
it's about stirring the pot.
Oh.
Stirring the pot of consternation.
Mm.
And yet it's already there. We don't need to stir it anymore.
It's well stirred.
It's well stirred.
I'm thinking of a recipe now, like stir until it's been on simmer for quite a while.
Right.
Okay, so now as we think about the Grand Awakening, let's bookend the episode with how does this help us with the Grand Awakening as we rise and we become more of responders. I do want to ask higher power, what is mine to do? And yet get out of that reactive adolescent state of you hurt me, I want to hurt you. Mm-hmm. How does this vibration help with the Grand Awakening?
I think it helps by the way in which our vibrational state shifts and changes that of others. When I walked into your home today, if you recall, I said, there's a beautiful energy here. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking about it in the last podcast too, about how you go into a restaurant, like, wow, there's something just really nice about the ambiance here.
Yeah.
We create that. That goes back to the whole idea of being in bodily form. In this form, with the physicality of it, we have the ability to shift the way in which we move through spaces. And in a higher vibrational state, it is really about compassion. And I'm not a minister. I'm not a priest. I'm not a guru. I'm just talking about my experience of myself, my lifetime, my wounding, healing from it, and working with many people in a clinical setting as someone who is another human being who really just wants them to be well.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I am doing a little heart chakra recharge thing, helping my inner teenager kind of calm down a little bit as I was channeling the bipartisan nature of the scene these days.
Well, your inner child, those parts of yourself, they just need to be heard, right? They don't need to be the ones who take over and express themselves wildly or aggressively. And I'm not saying you particular, Nancy, but just in general, we don't need to do that, right?
Okay.
We can actually talk to those parts ourselves. They don't need to be driving the bus. We as the adults are the ones who are driving the bus. They can be passengers, and we can say, hey, I'm really sorry that you're really frustrated that you had that knife in your back and that you just want to stab somebody else right now, right?
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
Right.
And
Metaphorically,
yes. And non-aggressively in this podcast.
Yeah, metaphorical.
Right? I mean, to be able to change that knife into a wand of magicality, that you can create anything you want with it.
Yeah, anything. Ooh, I love this.
Just like you are right now.
This is
such a beautiful thing you're doing by doing the Traumedy podcast. It really is.
Oh, thank you. I feel called to it, and I appreciate you. Your contribution is invaluable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're very kind.
And I just want one little thing that came while I wanted to encapsulate was the language you were using was a lot of parts work that I've been doing with my inner family and who's driving the bus. And I was thinking about back to your work, sitting with somebody. Is it a little like a compressed reparenting, like attuning with them?
Absolutely. In fact, I say that often in sessions, that perhaps you didn't receive that mirroring, that attunement when you were a child. And I'm very sorry for that. I apologize on behalf of mishaps in the medical system, mishaps that people have had in their families of origin, in relationships. I say that for myself. And yet, at the same time, it's my responsibility as an adult to show up and actually take care of that. And I can't do that until I'm aware of the ways in which I feel wounded and need to be healed.
And now that you're an elder and you're clear and you're ready to pass that ancient wisdom on.
Yes.
Thank you for passing on the ancient wisdom. I feel the ancestors are clapping. They're all going, yay, that's what we wanted. That's what we
brought you guys together.
Yay!
Do it.
Thank you for helping me. I know I need help getting out of my reactivity, and I thank you for it. And let's have closure here. I want to thank everyone who's listening. Let's take a moment to contemplate the pre-contemplation and the post-contemplation of a higher frequency where we love each other, mirror each other, celebrate each other, and just have more fun on Earth.
Yeah, love that. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. And thank you, Shay.
Shade. Throwing some shade your way. There you go.
I thought her name was Shadow, and then it was Shade. I knew that. Thank you. She's like, I'll answer to Shay.
No,
Shade. She is Shade.
Yes, I went on a psilocybin journey with my kids over Christmas, the day after I got her. And we were supposed to name her, and they came up with the name of Shadow. And I'm like, no, there's the shadow self.
That whole Jungian thing.
Yeah, so we really can't call her Shadow.
That's a lot of burden for her to carry. Yeah.
It is, way too much. So the mushroom said, Shade.
And Shade is so nice. Gosh.
Just like her.
Yeah. Thank you, Shade. Peace and love, everybody. Tune in again next year. When we hear we'll have you back. We're going to have this ongoing conversation.
Okay.
And then keep us posted when you start your podcast.
I will. Yeah. If I do, I might just come here.
Okay. You're welcome here anytime. Anytime.
So
if you have something that is called to share, please let me know.
Okay. Will do.
All right. Thanks. I'd like to thank my guest, Adira Rei, for really humoring me at times when I'm going into these visions I get during that vision about Trump being a pig in a birthing crate. Listen, I'm just telling you, don't shoot the messenger. That is what came during my meditation. And when I meditate, man, I feel like I am connecting. I do believe we are coexisting on parallel universes. I'm just asking, may I reincarnate on a planet of empaths next time? I don't know. Would I be kicked off the planet? Would I get booted off the island? I don't know. But thank you, Adira Rei. Thank you for sharing your wisdom as an elder. And I want to thank my son, Nathaniel Norton, who lives with me and also helps raise my frequency. And I want to thank you, the listeners, and who often become guests. So feel free to reach out to me. It's nancynorton.tv. And let me know what you'd like to hear, how you're doing. Keep breathing, and no matter what, keep laughing. See you next Traumedy Tuesday. We'll know the outcome of the election. I have my predictions. Haha.